Hi guys, welcome to the Stage Performance Podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the Stage Performance Podcast. In this episode, I talk to one of the happiest people on the planet, Olivia Sharkey. So Olivia is the Miss Great Britain Glasgow of 2024, and she has absolutely no shortage of life experience or performance experience. She's travelled the world working as an air hostess with British Airways. She's done a lot of work as a grid girl. She's done Irish dancing for a long time, and she has done a lot of Pilates instruction. So that there's a lot of things that she has done which are really, really cool. And I think one of the things that made me so excited to talk to her is I know that she's a very happy person, and I wanted to see what makes her so inspired to do all the things that she does. And I thought it was a really wholesome conversation. So have a listen. Olivia, thanks so much for being here today.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's really wholesome actually, because I remember meeting your family in 2022. It was Airdrie. It was an event I was hosting, I think. And then it was your sister's 18th. And at that point in time, you were still on the journey to become Miss Glasgow. And it's amazing to see how much you've achieved in that time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't believe how fast time has went recently as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of these things, everyone that I've spoke to, and you'll be in the same boat. Like when you do this kind of line of work, you don't feel time pass so quickly. Well, you kind of do, but it doesn't feel so long ago. And it's this kind of weird duality because time, I'm getting really deep here immediately, but I think it's funny because like the weeks feel so fast that you don't feel how far away the years went. You know, so 2022 only feels like yesterday.
Definitely.
Yeah. So do you remember at that point in time, if you were to go back to 2022, like where you were on your journey to becoming Miss GB?
So at the very start, do you know, it just kind of like grew from watching people on kind of Instagram and people that I kind of look up to as role models and kind of watching their own journeys and then deciding to, you know, give it that kind of shot myself and applied and entered, and it just kind of stemmed from there. And it was really good to kind of different work that you can do within that. And I mean, it was really good. I mean, it was great that I won, but even if I hadn't, to just like put the work in, and I think as well like having a goal to work towards,
Yeah, totally.
is really good as well. And meeting like loads of new people, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because for those things, I mean, obviously you won, so that's great, but you tend to find a lot of people that go for those things say, I didn't win, but I met a lot of lifelong friends and I got experiences.
No, definitely. I think as well that the more you get older, the less opportunities you get to meet new people and new friends. I think it's really good as well to just get in a space where you can meet like like-minded people, although everyone's actually quite different to one another. You find kind of friendships where and people that you didn't think you would meet. So it's been really great to meet some of the girls and have their friendships.
I think that's just a testament to throw yourself in, because you're absolutely right. I think as you get older, like it can feel as if, you know, the friends that you maybe have, you're kind of stuck with. You know, not that that's a bad thing, but like you do find that sense of, you know, you went to school, you went to uni, some people went right into work, and there's not like an obvious progression beyond that unless you actively go and sort that. So it's easy for people to feel like this is where I'm going. So it's was there ever a point in your life where you thought, I need something new before you started? Because you've done so many different things.
Yeah, do you know, I feel like I've lived a million lives. But I'm kind of always just had the attitude that I'll give everything a go once, and if it's something I don't enjoy, I don't need to do it again. But I'm definitely at a point in my life where I just want to kind of put myself out there. I think growing up in school and things, I was quite timid, quite shy. Almost like scared a little bit of like people and to say or do the wrong things. And I think just now, like in my 20s, I'm like, do you know what? Let's just give it the best. Like just, I know it's a little bit cringy, but like you've only kind of got one shot, so just kind of give it.
No, well, it's true.
All,
but I think it's interesting when you say it's cringy, because I think like the kind of society that we live in, like where we come from, it's very much like just do what everyone else does. And anything out with that is seen as cringy, you know. So you're really only applauded when you actually achieve the thing. And you might have found that yourself. Like people would have been like, why are you going for Miss? You know, that. And then they're like, oh, she won. yeah, she's really cool. I was there from her for the start, you know. Like,
Yeah, I think, you're completely right until you get that breakthrough. But at the end of the day, people are going to talk about you anyways, so just do what you
yeah.
want. Like, just, so everyone's going to find an issue in something, but I think you just need to do it for you. And, I think it's just really good having kind of something to work towards and putting yourself out there outside your comfort zone as well. It's a hard thing to do.
And I think if you stay in your comfort zone, you get bored as well.
Yeah.
I mean, see if you were just doing one thing, say you were just doing teaching Pilates every single day of the week, you would probably that doesn't mean to say you wouldn't enjoy it, but you would get really, I don't know if bored is even the word, but it's a kind of routine.
Yeah.
There's no excitement anymore because you know it's coming. Whereas when you do so many things your grid work and all of that fun stuff as well, it keeps things fresh.
Yeah.
Is that kind of why you do it all as well, just to kind of keep moving?
Yeah, I just like being busy, I think, as well. I'm always like, oh my goodness, I need a break. But I think in those quiet moments, you are like, okay, I'm ready to pick things back up. And I think as well, the kind of promotional kind of work that I do, there's always that kind of thought in the back of my head is you don't know when it's going to dry up. You don't know when people are going to stop asking you. So just take all the opportunities because, I mean, hopefully not, but that could be the last time and then you never know. So, but it's really good again. All the kind of events are very socialising with other people and working within a team environment, and the gig to girling is such a great day out. It's always a really good day to work, and all the other girls are so fab. They're so lovely and welcoming. Yeah, it's
so
great.
nice.
It's really nice. Yeah, as well as the teams too.
It's really interesting to hear you talk about the whole fear of things drying up, because I think that's a universal thing. And at first, I thought that was exclusive to the Ibiza saxophone thing. But I think everyone, whether you're a dancer or you do grid work or you teach or anything, you have that fear. But do you know what? I think people can kind of use people will always find their way to scare you if you let them.
Yeah.
And I think if that's all that they can say, then that's probably not that bad. There's a lot worse things you're just really bad at that, If you've not heard that, then you're probably doing something right.
Yeah. But I think as well, with all the kind of things, it is kind of in the back of your mind, oh, is this just a trend? And things looking at Pilates just now, it's completely exploded into Instagram and kind of social media. And it is so great to see so many people now doing it, because there is so many benefits and how it complements almost every person and no matter what sport they're doing. But it's how fast things can change. And then next year it might be something else. But so always in the back of your mind you're thinking, right, how do I keep people engaged in what I'm doing to always come back to me? And I think as long as you're being yourself and hopefully they come back.
But I think people like you will always survive. See, because you are so I'll go where the wind takes me kind of thing. That kind of attitude will always get you far. And even years ago when you did the air hostess thing, is that kind of see when you travel the world like that, is that part of the reason why you have that excitement just to see new things and do new things?
I think so, yeah. I think again it just comes back to I'm kind of willing to go anywhere. I mean, if any of my friends or family takes right, okay, holiday, I'm sign me up, I'm looking at the flights right now. I'd literally go anywhere. You could say anywhere and I'll be there. But I think as well for BA and things, experiencing places you wouldn't really go on holiday as such.
Right.
And kind of taking the kind of places off, the list was really cool. But again, just experiencing new places, kind of cultures and something different that you have never saw before is just amazing. Yeah.
A few people have known, I don't think they worked specifically with BA, but when they did kind of air hostess stuff, it was quite life-changing. They says when you see so many different cultures and then when you come back home, there's that kind of I now know so much more. Would you say that you felt like that? Just
yeah, definitely. And I think as well, just kind of growing up, putting yourself out there to kind of not fend for yourself, but just getting out your kind of hometown and experiencing a little bit more out with is just really good, because I think it's so easy to just kind of get trapped. What it's as I said, the years just go by crazy fast, and before you know it, you've left school 10 years ago, and it's mental. So I think just kind of getting out and seeing like different parts of the world, or just meeting new people and things.
Have you
Great.
sort of always had a passion for travel?
Yeah, I love going away and just so I'm really excited. We're going to Thailand this December.
Cool.
We're actually going to be away over Christmas, which I've never did before.
That's insane.
So it's just
Right.
me and my partner, which we're really looking forward to.
That's amazing.
But yeah, something different. I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, just like something exciting. And we're doing like different places around Thailand, so I think each place will kind of be different to the next, which is quite good. It keeps it exciting.
That's cool. I'd love how kind of up for trying new things, yeah, because I think like as much as it's exciting, it can also be really nerve-wracking. You know, like I was always afraid that, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, right? But I was so afraid of leaving the hometown that I don't think I went on a train till I was like 16 or something like that. Yeah. I'd like at that point in time, I was always very kind of like, nope, I know like the gym that I like the, the walking area here, or I'm going to go here for my night out or whatever. So it's interesting to kind of like see that you've were you ever initially nervous for it, or did you always just jump in?
I mean, I think I've always kind of had these thoughts like, oh, I hope this works out here. That kind of like last minute before you jump kind of into things. I'm like, okay, I hope this pays off. But I mean, sometimes things haven't, and that's okay. And I think it's just kind of regrouping and thinking to yourself, right, okay, I tried it, and maybe that's not for me as much, but at least I gave it a good shot. And I can see I've did it, and I don't need to do it again. But I think it's really hard to kind of take that jump, though. It can be, definitely.
I think especially if you've experienced like a massive failure at something, it can really put you back, and you can really, especially if you're quite new to something, I think the brain sometimes has a bit of a negativity bias, and if you mess up, you think you're the worst person ever. You know?
And you're really not. But I know it's just like to put ourselves down, don't we? But it's just how you kind of get back up and dust yourself off, isn't it? And
I don't think that fear ever really goes away, but you just get a lot better at dealing with it to the point where you no longer really even notice it because you're so excited by the possibilities of what could be. Yeah. Did you kind of take that approach into your Pilates when you went to so how did you end up teaching that? Did you just decide one day
growing up I kind of did Irish dancing for
No
quite a
way,
few
that's
years.
so cool.
So with the wigs and the dresses and all that, and bless my mum, take me all around the country to do all the competitions. Crazy. Which I'm really grateful for. And then I kind of fell away. I didn't do any kind of sports or anything like that. Kind of like lost myself a little bit. And then kind of only recently in the past I'd say maybe 5 years, really got into the gym, looking after myself. And I was going to Pilates as like a student myself. But at the time I was teaching like spin and kind of group fitness classes, and then at the start of the year I went ahead and got my qualification. And then so it's been really, really good. It's really good to like meet new people and teaching to a range of different people. So some classes I've kind of got an age range of over 60, whereas some classes are a lot younger. So it's really nice to teach different people, different skills, and how they all use Pilates to complement them. But yeah, it's been really good. It's been exciting. Yeah.
Would you say that your teaching approach is different depending on what class that you're taking?
I think it always just comes back to the roots of being super welcoming, friendly, approachable, and just making sure people feel like they don't need to be perfect. And when I was teaching spin, I always just say, right, okay, the disco lights are on, the lights are off. Watch me, and if you mess up, I probably won't even notice. I'm just making sure you're safe, but just always kind of having a like welcoming approach and making people feel that not in like embarrassed or anything to come or first time, and just kind of taking it from there and working together kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really nice that you have that approach because there's a few folk that I know that are kind of scared of going to the gym or like classes in general because I think sometimes there's a stigma, like it's just this kind of, can you lift this heavy, or you're surrounded by, like veteran fitness people that are going to judge you for like whatever.
I think as well, like everyone has those thoughts when you're in the gym and you feel like someone's looking behind you, but chances are they're probably not, but it's just your head, isn't it? But we've all probably felt like that, but it's it's so hard, but I always think the hardest thing in terms of like gyms and classes and stuff is get yourself there. That's the biggest win. Like as long as you're there, then you've
The
got a
hardest
win.
part is
Yeah.
literally going. I think, sometimes it's just getting out of the bed in the morning and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It is.
I actually found that I started going, this sounds so lazy, I know, right? But see, when I started to drive, that's when I started going to the gym just because I couldn't face walking there and then walking back. It's like half an hour there and I'm like, I just can't. So, but it's a nice thing. And I think as well, people like really like classes. Much more than just exercising on their own.
Yeah, that kind of group atmosphere. And I think it's really nice how other people can push people on, not almost in a competitive way, but just a kind of like lifting, and people can go much further in their own kind of practice. And yeah.
It's nice having accountability as well.
Definitely, yeah. If you know you've got something booked, you know you're going to turn up, especially if you've got like a cancellation fee or a no-show fee, you're like, oh my goodness, better go now.
I remember, I think, see, the PT that I had, shout out to Robbie, he was like a major part in helping me go to the gym. And I actually feel as if since I stopped with him, I did tell him life was going to be really busy. You'll probably find that with all your events in summer. There's just, and that's probably a good talking point as well. It's hard to be so active, like going to the gym and stuff, when you've got so much work to do as well.
Yeah.
How would you say that you balance that kind of thing?
I think it's definitely hard. I think as well I've got a little bit of kind of don't want to say no to people. So when I do get asked, or maybe we pick up extra classes and things, I'm always trying to accommodate everyone and probably leaving myself running about like a headless chicken. So it's definitely really hard to get balance. I'd say that's probably something like I kind of struggle with is chilling. I have not a chill bone in my body.
And I think you're probably one of these people as well that, if you have a day off, your mind is racing. You're like, I want to do this now kind of thing. Like you don't actually allow yourself to react.
Yeah, you're so right.
Relax.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I think when you're so used to living in the fast lane, when you step off, you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you think, okay, I may as well just get back on if there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually heading holiday on Wednesday. We're heading to Dubai.
Oh, cool.
Just like family and stuff. But already I'm like, okay, we've got this plan. I'm like, oh my goodness, need to stop like planning things and just go with the flow.
So if you're on holiday, then would you say you're more like you like to walk around and see things, or would you say that you like sitting by the pool?
I like the idea of sitting by the pool and then I sit for about 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, what's next? So definitely kind of up and doing things and walking about, exploring is definitely more me. But I do like the idea of, sitting back in a sun lounge or cocktail in hand, but that lasts for about half an hour max, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Where would you say your favourite place you've been is?
I need to say Bali, but specifically a little island called Gili Tea, which is probably my favourite place I've visited. So there's no like cars or anything there. It's super tiny islands, and you can hire a bike and you can cycle around, and it's just really wholesome, nice vibes. Yeah, I'd have to say it's definitely my favourite place, apart from just getting there. The boats, oh my goodness, you are ill when you are there, and the thought of getting off that island and having to go back on the mainland, you're like dreading it. But yeah, that's been my favourite place I think I've visited. What about yourself?
This may be a stupid question, but is it kind of like Millport then? Like,
yeah, actually it is. You can cycle around the islands. Yeah,
you get a
little
boat
stop off
back.
here. Yeah, it is kind of basically like Millport.
Yeah, no, I think it's so weird because my family keep pulling me up for this, but I've not actually been on holiday in ages. Probably since 2020, probably 2019. And that's not me trying to sound like a hustle person, but like, see, when you talk about scarcity and stuff like that, I was really affected by like, this isn't going to last forever. And every single year I've thought, Sax is going to die, so I just need to ride it. But I think slowly but surely, really just this year, when I've seen inquiries coming in, as you might have for some of like your events and stuff like 2028 and 9, that's when you think, okay, I can take a break.
Definitely.
But you don't know. I think because in our fields, like, there's not always people that have done things before.
Yeah.
So like, you don't always have a lot of role models to kind of look at and say, I know that that's what I'm going to look like in, 20 years' time.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
This whole thing is just uncharted territory. And I think, see, to be fair, that's where I'm total agreement with you, because, like, and I almost envy you in a sense, because you just kind of go with the wind. You're like, I'm just going to do it, jump in. I probably lean a bit more towards the overthinker. I'm like, I want to be like that. I act as if I'm that, but, like, deep down, like, I kind of need a plan.
It's so hard though, yeah. It is really hard because it's a bit like risky, isn't it? Because it just always comes back to thinking the thoughts of, am I doing the right thing? Is this the
Yeah.
right foot forward? But I think
I don't think there's ever really an answer to that.
there's not. And maybe sometimes you do, like, you think back and you think, oh, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have did
Yeah.
that. But at the end of the day, you just need to keep going, and yeah,
Either.
it'll all work out in the end, hopefully.
No, of course. And I think that's the thing is, I think, see, when you do, like, the events that you do and you see a lot of people smiling, that to me is the only metric for when you're doing a good thing or the right thing.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I think there's no real silver bullet to life. I think you're the type of person that you'll always find happiness somewhere, even if, the Pilates thing dries up, you'll find something new. I don't know where I was going with that. My mind was completely blank. No, but I think what I'm saying is, like, when you see people smiling and you see, like, the people that are happy at the events that you're at, or the people that are smiling, and they think that was a really good class that you took, well done.
Yeah, I think
That's
same
probably
for you,
when you have
yeah.
to say, yeah, you know what, I'm doing a good thing. you know?
Yeah, I think when you get that feedback, like yourself as well, when you get nice feedback and you think, right, okay, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little pat on the back, and you know that you're doing the right thing.
I think
Yeah.
there's also something really important for listening to, like, your family and your friends, like, and really taking their not instructions, that's not the right word for it, but I think, see, their advice. I know anything can be advice, and I don't know what your thoughts on this are, but I think it's always hard because you don't know if you should always listen to people and take the word as gospel. Like, there's a balance between doing what you think is right and being stubborn. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's being stubborn, and then there's being, like, a walkover. I can't think of another word for that, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But, like, it's about trying to get to the middle,
Yeah,
isn't
good
it?
balance. Yeah, definitely. But I think we're both really lucky that we've got kind of like families that would have us, best interests at heart, and are kind of, trying to steer us down like a good kind of path and things, and growing up, and
And
really
I think
grateful for that.
that's kind of what's led us to where we are, I think.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have that if you didn't have like, when you talk about, words of encouragement and stuff, that's really important for a child. My mum works in nursery, and it's like, your words to them are gospel at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so, if you constantly get, encouragement and told that you can do things, then you believe that you can. So I think we are quite lucky in that sense.
Yeah, definitely.
That we have those kind of parents.
Yeah.
And family. Yeah. So, and the topic of fitness and stuff like that, am I right in saying you've done a High Rocks?
Well, we did a High Rocks relay because it was so hard to get tickets, so we ended up doing a relay with me, my boyfriend Jay's mum Julie, who is an absolute machine. She is the fittest at us all, and our friend Kai. So it was mixed relay. It was really good. So we were kind of training for a couple of months for it.
Yeah.
It was a great atmosphere. I'd love to do one that's kind of like a doubles or a singles. I think me and Julie might try and get some tickets. But what an experience. It was really good. And it's so nice to see people just like cheering other people on that they don't even know. It's crazy. It's really, really good atmosphere.
Yeah. What is it actually like at these things? Like, what is I mean, I don't know if you remember it all, but is it like you do a lot of running and then a lot of weightlifting as well? Like, I've seen clips of it. I don't fully understand how it works.
So it's like a mixture of running and kind of functional fitness.
Right.
So you've got like your skiers, your rowers, and then also like exercises that include like weights, like your lunges, your farmer's carries. And it's just your heart rate is always elevated, if that makes sense. But hats off to those people that are like pros at it. It's crazy because, you're going to be training a lot for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really good experience actually, and it was in amongst all my prep for Miss Glasgow, so it was good that I got to kind
Right.
of take my sash and get a wee little picture there and add to my kind of portfolio, because you do that when you enter both Miss Glasgow and Miss GB. You build a kind of portfolio over the kind of like months leading up to the final that you then take into your interview, and you kind of get asked questions about that, and it goes from there.
Do you remember that interview?
Yeah, yeah. That was so funny. I do.
Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. I think especially for Miss Glasgow, I was kind of at the point where when I came off the stage on the night and Mum was like, oh, how do you think you did? And I was like, it literally doesn't really matter the result, because I just kind of had that feeling. I've never had this before of like, I couldn't have done anything more. And I was just so pleased with myself. And that was before even kind of getting results and things. I've never actually had that feeling before of like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually really proud of myself here. And I think all my kind of like, I've really practiced and really put in the work and the effort. So I think just that kind of feeling of like, what was meant to be is what be, but I'm kind of proud of myself. But
I love how at peace with life you are. Because so many people I know have been in similar positions always come off either being like, I hate myself, or they're like,
I mean, I've been there. I've been there. It wasn't the same story in Miss Great Britain, but in Miss Glasgow, it was a really good.
That's interesting to hear you say that. So, like, what was different about the two then?
I don't know. I think for Miss Glasgow, I was just, I don't know. I had longer to prepare.
Right.
There was only a couple of weeks and I was at the actual Miss Great Britain, and I didn't really know what I was getting into, if that makes sense.
Would you say there's a lot of difference between the two, like a lot more work that's needed?
I think obviously Miss Great Britain's in a massive scale, so it went from Miss Glasgow, I think there was 12 girls competing for the one title, and then when you go down there, although there's 3 different sections, there's 71 people competing, and this like goes on for 2 days, so it's hard going, and it was a bit unfortunate with timing. It's just kind of other factors that I was kind of down there myself, and my family couldn't make it until the night. So I was like almost kind of turning up thinking, what do I expect, that way? But it was an amazing experience. I was really proud of how I did, because again, it was like only my kind of second pageant, and to get in the top 10, I was really happy with. I kind of set that goal of like, if I would like to get anywhere, that would be it, and I managed to do that, so I couldn't ask for anything more than that.
That's brilliant. And I think it's interesting because you probably, I mean, I don't know if these events are recorded and you can watch yourself back on it.
You can get like little like snippets of you,
right, okay.
But you don't get to see like the full thing, which is a bit of a shame, because you're backstage and you don't actually really see anything at all. But you do get your little videos of you to like look back on, which is really nice.
Yeah, because I think maybe you performed similarly, but I think maybe because the stakes are higher, you analyse yourself more intensely. And that could have been one of the reasons why you felt slightly more nervous, or you weren't as happy, because like it wasn't as, not that it wasn't a great thing, that you did. But I think when you go on to the next level, I think that the higher up you go, some people feel nerves. Not that
I think you do. It's just almost a bit more like pressure.
No, totally. Some people I know are really good at that. They just, everything is the same, if they're doing like a, kind of in a musician sense, if they're doing like a pub gig or like a wedding, it's no different, it's like I'm just doing the same thing. But I think maybe for our temperaments, we kind of think like, oh, the higher the thing, the better I need to be, and you probably do a worse job when you get into that mindset.
I think you're completely right, actually,
But you did well anyway.
Thank you. No, I was really pleased of how I did, and it was a really great experience. I think it's really good to kind of pageant. It's a thing. I think people think, oh my goodness, what the hell is that?
I think it's a really misunderstood
thing.
I
think it's changed so much over the years as well. Because before I had even entered Miss Glasgow, I didn't realise that the majority of your mark is actually from your interview. So it really matters what you say, more than it's great, and you do need to be able to, walk on the stage and have that presence and that overall package. But at the same time, you actually need to be able to get down to level to speak and really kind of like show why you're here and what you're going to do if you do go on to kind of win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I completely would have underestimated up until you said that how important the
Yeah,
interview is,
yeah.
because a lot of the time an interview can be like 10-20%, at most. So like it's amazing to see how big a thing. But see, when you're on the stage, do you have any kind of like, not full on warm up techniques, but like, do you do anything to get yourself in the zone? Or
Well, do you know what's really funny with
Right.
pageants is they usually have an opening number. So it's like
Okay.
a dance. It's a dance, which at the start everyone's like, oh my goodness, I can't dance. Like, oh, why do we need to do this?
Yeah.
But it's actually really good because it's not judged. It basically just opens the show. So that first time coming out
imagine
on
you were
stage.
judged on the dance.
Yeah, oh, I know. Well, I wouldn't be in top 10. And I definitely wouldn't have won. But that's Glasgow. But I think it's such a good opportunity because it just kind of gets those nerves
Yeah.
out the way. And you probably are actually really grateful for that moment to just come out and settle in. And then when you do actually come out for your own like scored individual rounds, you
Yeah.
feel a little bit more better. Yeah.
So, this might be quite a naive question, but like, what on the stage do they mark you for?
So for your kind of evening gown, which is like your long dress, it's
Okay.
like kind of elegance and how you can like kind of handle yourself and your overall kind of package. It kind of comes back to that as it's kind of marked on, are you overall ticking all the boxes, if that makes sense? Because I think they're not just looking for someone who is perfect to look at. They don't mind if you've got, you know what I mean? They just want someone who's just overall a really good person and just trying their best, if that makes sense. And then for kind of swimwear, it's just your confidence and feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Do you ever feel like you kind of have to, like, you become a bit of an actor, like you embody a character when you go onto the stage? Like, is it similar to like musical theatre that way, although you're not kind of like going out and singing songs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like, okay, I'm Olivia now,
I think just coming back to like Irish dancing and being on like stage then, it just kind of came back to like I was on stage but just doing a different thing. And I think because of the Irish dancing, you've got the dresses on, you've got like makeup and hair and stuff like that. When I was doing pageants, it just kind of almost felt the same. And when I did Irish dancing when I was really younger, just that drilled in like smiling and
So you weren't like
yeah.
a stranger to being on the stage?
No,
then?
and I think that's where that kind of confidence that to be able to go up and do that comes from.
It's probably served you really well to kind of get on stage so early in life, because there's so many people that have such a hard time,
Yeah.
even for things like public speaking. Do you remember, I don't know if you did this, but like in school assemblies, they would get some random person, do you want to read this out kind of thing? And they would be like, oh.
And it's so strange because growing up in school and things, I was quite quiet. And see, even that part in school when you go in the morning, like you have to say that you're here, I'd be stressing out thinking all I have to say is here. But I'd be so stressing out in my own head. But then when it came to like dancing and things like that, being on stage, I was totally comfortable and fine. It was as if that was like separated.
Yeah, well, I think that there's nerves in social situations and then in performance situations. And I think you can be really confident on stage and then maybe not as confident in social situations. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think, I have to agree, yeah.
I think I would rather have that kind of like, you're slightly more reserved than slightly more out there and bold and brash. And I think those kind of people, it can serve them well in some areas. But I think people would prefer to talk to someone like you, because they
that's
can. No, but like, because there's a sense of, mutual respect when you go, you talk to someone like an equal.
Yeah.
And I think if someone doesn't have that sense of kind of like nerves, it's not even nerves, there's another word for it. I think it's just like reading the room.
Yeah.
Like you've got a good ability to read the room, and I think other people that maybe don't have that and they're just like, I'm just going to say what I think all the time, might make everyone else feel awkward at times.
I don't know about you, but that's something I always come back to. I'm like almost scared to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I lack a little bit of like not confidence there, but I'm fine to like come here and speak and be on the stage. But in a kind of social setting, sometimes you think, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think, see, depending on who you know, I think your filter can kind of go down a bit. Like, you'll probably think your best friends, you can say anything and, like, they'll know you well enough to know your tone and stuff. But if it's someone that you don't know as well, I think you do just kind of go into that hyper, okay, I need to be super observant of, like, social cues and say this and say this. And I do think that's a good, as much as it can be a stressful, annoying thing.
Yeah, it's also a good thing because you don't want to be the other way, do you?
But you know what, it's funny though, because I don't know if you're like this as well, but see if you go to like a McDonald's drive-through, like I need to repeat my order multiple times before
I know, goodness.
Oh, it's so funny. But again, you know, when you go back to like the whole performance thing, you know, even if you feel that way in social situations, you certainly don't have that in what you do, and like that really comes across in the grid work that you do as well. Can you tell us a bit about that and like all the stuff that you do there?
Yeah, so that was, I can't remember. I think this will be my third year
Really?
being on the grids. Yeah, so it's for the touring cars. And yeah, it's actually really, really great. So it's on the kind of Sunday. A lot of the rounds are down south. That's the kind of only downside. There's only one Scottish round up at Knockhill, which was actually a couple of weeks ago, and the weather was so good. That's a little side note, but there's something that needs to be something.
I
know. I need to shout that out because that weather was so, so good. But yeah, no, it's great. The grid work. So you're made like feel included in the team and all that, and you're just there for the kind of 3 rounds, and you're out with the cars as they come in to the kind of pit lane and things, and on the starting. So, but yeah, it's a really great day, and there's a grid girl for every team.
Right.
So there's loads of girls, and it's always great atmosphere. Yeah.
So there's not like any sense of like, you know, animosity between the teams. It's all just like, oh yeah, we're all here. We don't care who wins.
I don't really know a lot of it, like ins and outs, but from what I can tell is everyone's so supportive, and even that comes to the fans. Like they'll kind of support everyone. Like although they might have their favourites and things, everyone's kind of rooting for everyone to do well, if that makes sense.
That's really nice.
Which is really nice. It's not a lot. Like it's not really like that much in sport, is it?
No, well, I can't think of a football game where like the other team are applauding.
Everyone's so nice to each other.
Yeah, it's just nice. There's one, I could be completely wrong, but I remember there was one in Kirkintilloch a few years back. Is that anything to do with the events that you've done, or is that like, I know it's such a vague question, but I can, like, when you're saying they're so far away, like, is it one company that go all across, or is there several different companies that do it?
So we've got all kind of different teams within the kind of touring car championship, but I don't think so for Kilmarnock. The next one that I'm doing is Silverstone Circuit, so I'm down there on the 21st of September, so I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of like an iconic circuit. So yeah, that'll be great fun. And last one that I'm doing of the year. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's crazy.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like I don't know. It goes back to what we're saying. Like the weeks go so fast that you forget how much faster the months go away, isn't it?
I know.
One of the things I think has actually just really been wholesome the whole time, and I know I've said it so much, but you're like just so happy. You know, you're like, I love these people, and like, you know, I love, you know, the people that I teach and the grid girls and, you know, everything, and it's just.
That's so funny. John makes me laugh because I actually used to go to like boxing classes, like just like circuity kind of things, and the guy who takes it was like, you need to stop smiling when you're punching me. And he's like, you look hilarious, stop smiling. Or he's like, punching like you mean it, and I'm like, I can't.
It's not for you. So it's funny because you are such a caring person, and you've obviously done a lot of charity work and stuff as well. Can you tell us a bit about all that you've done?
Yeah, so I used to work in a funeral home when I left school as a funeral arranger, and I still work in there casual, just here and there, but more kind of on the like funeral team, so driving out in the funerals and being in the mortuary and things. So when I got the opportunity to kind of do some charity work, I wanted to choose a charity that I actually knew a lot about, if that makes sense. So then I kind of researched and came across Crews Bereavement Scotland, So it's a bereavement charity that offers counselling, and at this summer last year, summer last year, I actually opened their Glasgow office because they're just trying to introduce kind of one like face-to-face counselling again after COVID. But it's an amazing charity, and I think bereavement is something that people don't really like to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of breaking down those kind of barriers and things. And I think until you're in that moment, it's not really something you think about, to be honest.
A lot of people, go through life, when they're younger, just forgetting death is a thing. It's only
Yeah.
really when you're actually confronted with it,
Yeah.
you're kind of, it's there, and you kind of have to make peace with it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think as well, when someone does unfortunately pass away, people kind of feel like, what am I meant to, what is the next step? Like, what do you do?
and
Unless you've been in that
sometimes-
situation before, unfortunately, you kind of know the procedures and steps to follow. It's kind of almost that feeling of what's next for
Yeah.
myself. And but Cruise, it's an amazing charity that they kind of, the work that they do and the people and the volunteers as well that work there are really, really great. And they offer their services to young children all the way up to adults. And there's a kind of helpline as well that people can phone and reach out to.
That's really nice, and it's really nice that it's a charity that you know.
Yeah.
And it's so like it comes from the heart, when you do the things. I must say, I was surprised to hear that, you did the funeral. Because I was not expecting that. But when did you get into that?
So just kind of from school. So when I when I was leaving school, I was kind of thinking to myself, I have no clue what I want to do. And then I kind of thought about the kind of police avenue. So I left
You'd be
school.
the nicest police officer ever. Someone killed someone. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know how well I was, to be honest. But so I went to college and I did police studies there. And then when I was there, I thought, I can start kind of looking for jobs and things like that. But I think that point we were just maybe almost approaching COVID, if I'm right. And then a job came up at one of my local funeral parlours as an arranger. So then I started in there, and I just kind of went from there, and I really enjoyed it, and great people to work with, and the work that they do is like crazy. Everyone that works in the kind of funeral industry, you have to be a good person.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I can imagine, and it's totally a job I would have said is completely not your temperament. Consider, I think it kind of makes sense because you've done everything in life. You've travelled. You've done so many different types of jobs. I suppose it's not out of character for you to kind of just say, I want to experience it.
Yeah.
And it also shows how you're just willing to jump into things
Yeah.
as well. But it was a good experience then.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when leaving school, and probably only until recently when I was kind of started picking up more Pilates and doing that more kind of full time, that I've kind of found like, this is for me. But I've always kind of had the feelings of like, oh, is this for me? Is this what I want to do? And that kind of feeling like, I don't want to jump from job to job. I'm scared. Like, what's the right next step? And I think that's how I still kind of keep my funeral parlour job, is I don't want to fully let that go, because I did really enjoy it. I still do, and being involved in the team and
it's been there from the start for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's something that I would never shut or completely close off if I were going back into.
Yeah, I think you're the type of person as well that you could probably walk into any of the old jobs that you've had because you're a good person. There'd be certain employees who'd be like, no, just maybe. But no, and it's nice. And I think when you're saying about, I don't know what I want to do, I think the only way you can go through life is just to do what you're doing. Just, you fight that. I think it's impossible. No, here's actually better. This is a better thing. Right? See if you figure out what you don't want and move as far away from that as possible, you'll usually end up in a good place.
Yeah, and I think there's so much pressure now these days for people that are leaving school that are, no one wants to do anything normal as such.
And I think social media has a lot to answer for that. Oh, yeah,
definitely. I think, it's almost as if the next step from school should be uni now. Nobody kind of wants to go down that, working path. It's a bit of
Yeah.
I don't know. But
No, you're absolutely
I think
right.
there's a bit of pressure that everyone needs to kind of, be better than the next, But I think as long as it comes back to, are you doing something that you're actually happy want to do? And I mean, I'm almost like, as long as you can pay your bills and go on
Yes.
holiday, then that's, as long as you're happy to pay your bills and go on holiday, then that's great. But yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure these days of knowing what you need to do from such an early age.
Yeah, and I think the school, I mean, and it's hard to kind of blame them for this because there's so many pupils, but I think it tends to be what marks did you do well in. Okay, so logically this should be your path in uni. So you might have got like an A in Spanish, and it might be your only A just because, I don't know, you maybe you got lucky on the day or something.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, well, Spanish is what you should now go into. Be like, I don't really
Yeah,
care about
yeah,
Spanish.
yeah.
And it's hard to fault because I think that's just how the education system is kind of like made up.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that a bit of soul searching is. Did you find that you went straight to uni afterwards, or did you you've kind of went and done?
Yeah, so I went into college just for the year, and then kind of going to college with the hope of that would then take me into a career, be being in the police, and then it has not went like that, but that's okay.
Yeah, no,
that's
fine.
all right.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would ever at that point at school, especially in kind of 6 years and things, I had kind of not really focusing on fitness and things like that now. But now I could never imagine my life not going to the gym, not being active,
Yeah.
not doing all these things. But at that point in my life, that's not something I actually thought about or enjoyed, which is
Yeah. I mean, do you know what it feels like at times? See, because we don't really have the traditional 9 to 5. Our routines are what we want it to be, which is a really, really good, fun position to be in. The gym can kind of feel like, a lot of people have a administration office that they go to in the morning or something like that, and they have to sign in. I feel like the gym is kind of that for us, isn't it? You go there, you start your day, and then you get about your business. So
I think as well, I don't know, things change. You change, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And you're always kind of, I don't know. So I think now, I couldn't imagine my life being like this and doing the work that I do. But at that moment in time in school, I would never have even gave that a thought, if that makes sense.
I think it just pays to have that patience, you know, and you are honest with yourself. And you see, to be fair, I think your teenage years and early 20s can be some of the hardest years of your life because there's so much pressure. And it's okay, you resisted that urge, no, I don't want to go to uni. I want to do this thing, and I'm willing to kind of be open to change. And that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it sounds like peer pressure is really powerful. It really is. And I think people kind of don't talk about that as much. When you make the decision, people are like, well, nobody forced you. But even if that's hypothetically true, there was a lot of influence, for certain people to go down, whether that's family or, pressure to do something and then to do a job that they don't actually want to do.
Yeah, and I think only recently I kind of found peace with it's all kind of working out and I feel a lot better about things. But there's been points where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to jump job to job because that's not me as a person. I want to be committed to something, but it's just not working. So I'd say probably only recently I've kind of found peace of, this is what I want to do, and I'm actually really enjoying doing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, do you have any future projects that you're working on, or would you say you're just happy with where things are?
I think I'm happy where I am just now, but I think, I'm always trying to if any new opportunities came my way, I would definitely not shut them down, if that makes sense. I'm both kind of Pilates or promotional or anything at all. I'm just always kind of
and that's fair. And on the topic of promotional stuff, where can people find you? So if that's for Pilates classes or for your next events or anything like that.
Yeah, so I have a page on Instagram. It's just Pilates with Olivia with a 0 instead of, I know, not very, I don't know what you'd say. It's not a really creative name. It's just Pilates with Olivia with me. And I'm teaching kind of range of different places kind of across Lanarkshire and Glasgow. You can find my classes there.
That's ace. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.